Hi, my name is Erica Thomas, and I am an associate professor in the Department of Human Communication Studies. Today, I'm going to walk you through the screencast of the course I built, HCOM 330, which is entitled Rhetoric of Popular Culture. It's a course I will be teaching this fall, and what you will actually see today is what I hope to use in this semester. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the course. It is an introductory course to teach the students about the subfield Rhetorical Criticism and Theory. It uses critical cultural studies and it applies those theories to examining texts and artifacts in popular culture. So with that, I'll take you to my beginner sandbox here. Course looks like. And I'm going to actually begin though by taking you first to my profile. I would describe this profile as more of a professional biography. It's probably one that I would largely copy and paste from to build a kind of introduction to myself in, say, a textbook or a piece of published writing. And so the students can learn a little bit about my educational background and my title in this, and also how I identify, since I am a critical cultural scholar. That's pretty important to me to be upfront about my privilege and my identity and how I see that working together. But now with that, I will take you directly to the course that I created, and that it begins actually with, well, first they would receive this announcement, and this would actually introduce them to our course. So it welcomes them to HCOM 330. It explains how our course will be located in Canvas, and the most important elements that I included in this welcome message, in my opinion, include the Zoom link to our actual course and the Zoom link to my office hours, since I want them to know how to reach me. I've also included other contact information, email, and personal information, and I built in some of the links to the other pages that I see as most important. Now, this will be a little repetitive with our homepage, or with my homepage, which I created, but I think that repetition is going to be important and needed, because I'm under the impression from talking to some former and current students that they are a little nervous and anxious about some of the new changes and remote teaching. So with that, I want to go to the home page and tell you about, instead of actually building in my syllabus directly to this, I did instead just include a syllabus link. But you can see what makes, I think, my homepage sort of fun. I built a non-interactive Bitmoji image at the top. So they can't really click on this, but I just thought it'd be nice to have an image, put sort of a cartoonish version of myself in there for the students to get to know me again and recognize me, and really what is sort of an example of the room in my home where I'll be zooming from. So as opposed to actually creating a little mini classroom, I decided to have some fun with that. But some other neat features, I posted a welcome video.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Erica Thomas. You can call me Dr. Thomas, Professor, Erica, whatever you are comfortable with.
So that'll sort of give them a little bit of a taste of who I am before they even come to the class and meet me for the first time. Again, my link here then to our instructor info, which you'll also see in the first module, the 0-week module. So I will take you through that there. But one note I wanted to make about one of my low accessibility scores is on the fact that this is a scanned PDF. I'm not really sure how to change that without doing some more research to change the accessibility score, that is, because the PDF that I scanned was a deliberate attempt to take them to the syllabus that they could save and print for their own records. The reason it's done in a PDF and not in a Word document is because the syllabus is actually made in a Piktochart. So I'm going to take you to the syllabus page right now and show you how I built this out. Now, I did include some of the most important information in rich text format here, copied and pasted it. And I see this as kind of some of the most important parts of the syllabus, especially the fact that we need to focus on technology requirements, netiquette. I found both the link that was shared with us in our asynchronous course, but also a little Piktochart graphic called Rules of Netiquette that was reusable and shareable, so I included that there. And again, I think some of the most important things that the students need for like the class, they always want to know the number of points in the class, the assessment, also links to get the students the sort of information that they need, or not information, but resources. If they need to borrow tech from the university, if they need any software, they can find those links there. So that's how I've started to build my syllabus. I'm going to go back and revise this since this is some drafts. But if you actually click on this link here, this takes you to the Piktochart. And this is another version of the syllabus that is somewhat interactive for the students. It's obviously the long version. The syllabus is quite long given the situation with everything that I wanted to include for remote teaching. So that's why I just wanted to take out some of the highlights and they can actually see all the course policies as it appears here. So going back to this course syllabus page, that's why I built it out in syllabus, because as much as I want the home to direct the students to all those things, I want to think of our home page as somewhere that they can always go back to. They do not need to find the first announcement ever sent out in the class, but they can use this to familiarize themselves with all the important pages that will appear in their navigation bar. And so there's also some buttons and links to the things that I have created in this course for them to complete. So again, they can go back to the welcome announcement. So you can see there, they can also go to, I built an icebreaker activity. I take them to that assignment directly. But that's also replicated in the modules. So I'm going to take you to the modules next. So yeah, I am. Okay. I wanted to also tell you about your instructor page in here as sort of a, to sort of offset the first profile page. I have built this one, but as you can see, it is in my 0-week sort of course orientation module, as I would probably end up calling it. And this is, somewhat repetitive information about myself, things about my past education, again, where they can find me for those office hours. But I've went ahead and personalized this a lot more. I've included some pictures of my family, my cats, told them a little bit about the things that I like to do, in some ways how I'm sort of coping with COVID-19. And I'm really doing this to try to build relationality with the students and hope that it's going to foster the community that will make discussions easier, since we are a class where we'll talk about a lot of topics in popular culture. And from there, I have, this is an assignment with Flipgrid, but here is actually one of my first examples of a discussion board, and this is a discussion board that replicates a similar discussion board in our own asynchronous class. So the students, they do the podcast feed. I have set it up with a lot of the basic elements here, allow liking, threaded replies, so students can answer each other if they want to answer any questions about the course before I actually get to those. So that is in the first module. And second module, well, and just, I'm already sharing some resources like the short video and discussion boards that was available to us. I think that's going to be useful for the students as well. But our actual week 1 module includes a asynchronous short lecture that would normally be presented on the second day of class. Okay, so
some
this is
basic
normally
understanding of how the term has been used before in your life. But this lecture is really meant to give you the most basic understanding of the definition as it is used in the discipline of communication studies.
So this introductory lecture really contains just 3 slides of material. And what I'm going to have the students do, and this is a little different than what I normally do on the, my first weeks, well, because I've never taught remote learning before, is I'm going to have them see this part outside of class and also do what would be one of the first activities we do together in a class. Watch a clip of George W. Bush's 5-minute 9/11 address. And from there, they can use this discussion board to just observe in a short 1 to 2 sentence, one detail or content from the speech that reflects those definitional qualities that I give them in the first lecture. My thinking is that the students will build some confidence, they'll go into the second day of class with some familiarity, and it will help us develop a dialogue in further detail on this. But I want everybody to be thinking about it before they come in. So those are examples of the discussion board, the screencast, the initial activity, I guess, that I want them to do, and the page that I want them to practice with. And then finally, I have a practice quiz, which will reflect the material in the introduction to rhetoric. I'm going to give them 5 participation points for doing it, but basically it's just a very short quiz, a short preview of some true and false, multiple choice, in which they can practice what it's going to be like to receive quizzes in Canvas to, again, eliminate some of that anxiety. So, again, I don't think this is going to be a very difficult quiz for them, but I want them to go through the process and the motions. I give them 5 minutes. As you can see, I have included a number of different options here so they can see the correct answers, things like that. Okay. Otherwise, one more thing I wanted to show in my modules is the actual first assignment. Even though I have this Flipgrid assignment here, the first module that I practiced building, the first assignment I practiced building and included in this module is the first paper assignment they will receive in the course. And I've included the whole paper assignment directly as a rich text format. I also practiced building out the rubric. And so it's both there. There's a downloadable Word document of it. And that will really give them some insight in terms of what the major project for the course is, how it starts, how it builds upon itself. And so I have all that information up front for them to alleviate some of that anxiety. Otherwise, I just wanted to point out that I have been able to build out my navigation bar a little bit in terms of personalize it with tools and things that I think I'll need. And finally, I have practiced the calendar and started incorporating some of the actual assignments and class reminders and things directly into that. Okay, and that pretty much sums up my screencast. Thank you.